Welcome to Center of Light. Tonight, tomorrow night, and Thursday night, 3-part series. Carl Laperoux. What's up, my brother Ted, KK, Rena, everyone on YouTube. I'm refreshing things now so I can see without having to going to different social media pages. Welcome everyone. I am going to win the lottery, so I was told. We're gonna rock this town, rock it inside out. Good to see you tonight. We're speaking about God, searching for the truth, God hunters, part 1, which is tonight. Tonight is the universal body. We're gonna be speaking about some of the same things, a lot of the same things I've been speaking about quite recently, in fact. It's not that I think you don't understand. Hello, Donnie Kirby. It's more from the space that the way I've worked all day, played all day, to lay this out in such a way that there is no discrepancy, there is no argument, not because I'm arrogant and want to be right, but I want to be clear, concise, articulate, and to the point of what God is. As if I claim to know, right? Well, I claim to know enough to paint this picture that can take myself to another level as I express my passion, my sincerity, my humility, my vulnerability to know just that. But I do know confidently that in the arena that we all play in, I have a pretty good handle on things, right? I'll take it. We can liken this 3-part series. Tonight's the first night. It'll close on Thursday night. Tonight is God Hunters, and the search for the truth. Tonight is part 1, the universal body. This can be likened to, I want to take this out of order. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The Father would be the universal mind, that which is all intelligent and all divine. That'll be tomorrow night. The universal mind, the Father. The Son would be tonight. The universal body. The universe's body in the form of the God mind, which is tomorrow night. And Thursday is going to be the universal fire. This can be likened to the Holy Ghost. That which follows the commands, that is the correct word. The will is even more correct, of the Father, manifested through the Son and the daughter. You and I and everyone together are one. We are of a divine family. Donnie says he is already one. I love it. Can everyone hear my voice against the drums? Okay, I want to keep the drums a little punchy. I want to get into the primal fire as we all choose to go a little bit higher. Tonight is Center of Light, Universal Body. Let's get right into it. Let me acknowledge everyone first. Let me look on YouTube. I see no one yet. You can bet they're going to show up. All right, welcome out. Good to see you. Let's get down to some paying some bills. $35. My brother Robert donated these gifts to the Center of Light. It's sizable, very heavy, very well made. $35 gift to Center of Light. Keith, I'm interested in the Eagle Ring. Again, another gift by Robert Harrison. The Mayan calendar pendant. $30. It's very heavy, very durable. An amazing chain. Also, I want to show you 2 rings that a ring and another pendant that Robert offered. One is, the one in white is the astronomical ring. And it actually ends up looking like simply a normal ring. I have one here somewhere. And here it is. I'll show you shortly. And next to that is the Seal of Angels pendant. There are the one in the white, their astronomical ring is $25. Actually, they're both $25. So with your love offering to Center of Light, I would love to send this to you. Keith, I'm interested in this particular one or that particular one. So please let me know what it is you're interested in. I would love to send you these beautiful gifts. This is what the ring looks like close. I do have gold and silver. It's amazing. It's truly amazing. Thank you, Robert Harrison, and thank you all. If you're interested in any of this, just say, Keith, I'm interested in the astronomical ring, the eagle ring, the astronomical pendant, the eagle ring, or the angelic seal pendant, or what was the other one? the Mayan calendar. Let me know. It helps me to pay my bills, to do what I do pro bono. Please share, and Sonny Bono. It's good to see you. Let's get down on some Center of Light biscuits and gravy. Mary Dawn Pafford says tetrahedron. Yes, it is. Carl Laperoux says drums. Yeah, he's a drumming fool. In fact, he was in one of the first bands that ever was ever in back in the day. I'm not going to tell you how many days ago that was. Because. All right, Center of Light tonight is Center of Light, I am. God, I am that I am. Center of Light, I am. The universal body. God hunters in search of the truth. I've created this 3-part series to deepen the I get it, or the aha in you. Liberation is afoot, I tell you. Pafford. These 3 parts can be likened, I already mentioned that. I'm actually ahead of myself. The Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. So we're going to get right down to this presentation. You already know a lot of what I'm going to be mentioning tonight. I have 2 videos for you, but I've laid this out in such a way that the aha of the other videos is going to get deeper. It's going to widen the scope of perception to truly a space of, oh my God, I get it. Not that you don't get it already, but we're going to get it together deeper. All right. So the first segment I'm going to read, in fact, anything I'm going to be reading, is from my bestseller, my latest one, just over a year ago, a year and a week, Homecoming: Crossing the Bridge to the Soul. 1996 is when it started. In 1998, I was refining this work for many years, as I was refining myself. Meaning love, blood, sweat, and tears. I was. But most of this was written early in the game. So from my homecoming bestseller, let me get my charts real quick. Here we go. This was the first transmission I received when this all went down. Make no mistake about who I am is the title of this segment. I am God. I have no particular name. They all belong to me. I am all things, all that is. I am the universal generator of supreme knowledge and divine energy. I am you. I am everything you can perceive and everything you cannot. I am the choreographer of the human dance. I am the conductor of the Cosmic Symphony. I am the Universal Playwright. I am the Almighty, the Most High, the Creator. I am love. I am all teachers who have ever come and ever will come, bringing information about love and peace. I am Jesus the Christ. I am the Buddha. I am Krishna. I am Sathya Sai Baba. I am all children. I am the all-knowing, all-pervasive, and all-seeing eye. I am clarity. I am clarity. I am union. I am the eternal. Tonight is Center of Light. I am. I am the absolute in and of all things. I am the Atma, the soul and the tree of life. I am the only one. This is most important, this statement right here. I am the only one. I am Jehovah. I am that I am. God am I. Spirit now, the very first part of my dialogue with Spirit after this initial session, this is how the conversation began to ensue. On our spiritual excursion, Spirit speaking, we shall cover the basic principles that are imperative for your growth. We will first form a solid foundation of understanding, standing under something, an understanding so that we can then move on firm footing to achieve the peace that you seek. Spirit continues. Once you know yourself as a chip off my old block, you will then see how you have always had the power to create the best reality for yourself. This is where it's going to get deep. Take off your clothes, your meat suit, open up, make yourself vulnerable. This is an amalgamation right here, very integral to this 3-part series called God Hunters, Seeking the Truth. This bit right here. Thought energy. Thought energy is the primal force that gives birth to life in all its forms. Just because you are not aware of your thoughts after they leave your head, it does not mean that your thoughts die. The moment you entertain any thought, the universe begins to work toward its manifestation. Everything is affected because all is one. The same body, the same being. For you to understand more fully that everything is of one energy, we must start with the soul and work our way outward. Know that in every human being, there are more bodies than just the physical one. And there is more taking place than meets the eye. The spirit, self, or body. The spirit is the aspect. Again, these 4 modes, models, modalities are very integral to integrate this 3-course session. The spirit, self, or body. The spirit is the aspect that descends into the body to partake of the human experience. The spirit, the forever one, decides to leave forever land and come into never land and experience the loss of eternity and fall into the time sequence. The spirit is the aspect that descends into a body to partake of the human experience. It creates and governs all that is you. This is the spirit self. The spirit works in conjunction with your own local present, whatever level of awareness you have, to bring about what is beneficial for your evolution so that you may one day embody the divine principle. The mental self or body. This aspect provides you with the ability to reason. What I mean by reason is having the capability to consciously recognize what is right for you in any situation. It is the part of you that creates by thought and choice. Spirit continues. The emotional self or body. This aspect is denser than the spiritual and mental bodies and is responsible for physical expression. It influences all the actions and reactions triggered by your pleasure, pain, memories. Its enormous power brings what you are choosing into the certainty of being. Here you go, Ted. I mentioned to you I was going to briefly touch on what you asked me today about the ego. Is it always bad, bad, bad? It's never bad. There's an aspect of the ego which is governed by fear, greed, selfishness, me, it's all about me. But there is also a divine ego. And that divine ego you need to drive a car, to eat food, to stand up and walk, or to do your daily task, whatever that is. The physical self or body, this is what most people think they are, the body. But really, your physical body is just the vehicle. The physical body is the vehicle for the egos, be it the divine ego or the fear-driven ego. It's still a vehicle for the ego. Your physical body is just a vehicle for the other bodies. It lets you move freely in the world while you work to align your personality, your divine ego, with your soul so you can eventually escape the prison of the body. Not that the body is dirty, filthy, or tainted. It's for those who truly want absolute, infinite spiritual liberation. The physical body is your individuality. Your physical self allows you to come together with other people to share your life experiences. All these aspects make up the human entity. Even though they are different, they have one thing in common. They are all made up of energy. It is through such a synergy that the physical, emotional, and mental bodies connect to the all-pervading spirit. I have a lot of reading. I need water. Welcome, y'all. Good to see you. Hello, Tammy. Again, it's all integral. This section I'm going to highlight yet again. It's very important for your spiritual development, if you are such a one who is starving or lovingly being fed, to take in this manna, to take in this bread I am offering to you. This could be your last supper. This is important. Spirit. On the earth plane, I want to announce this. Tonight is Center of Light, God Hunters, the search for the truth. Tonight's presentation is the universal body. On the earth plane, almost everyone perceives him or herself as an individualized unit separate from others. Such spiritual deficiency promotes spiritual dyslexia, a view of reality as outer to inner rather than inner to outer. This perception is an error because at a subatomic level, hello Kelly, because at a subatomic level, there is no separation whatsoever. All there is one body, the universal body. Everything is just energy fluxing at God's speed, briefly bumping around, then taking off to somewhere else. Believe it or not, the human body is 99.9999% empty space. The other 0.00001% matter is empty space as well. Do you see the picture being drawn here? Hello, Robert. Hello, Deborah. Do you see the picture being drawn here? There's nothing that is not of the universal body. Matter consists of random blips of energy and informational discharges that solidify into a three-dimensional hologram, thus creating the illusion of solidity. Spirit continues. I know that grasping this concept has been a challenge for you, Keith, in the past. But are you finally beginning to see how everyone is of one body that branches into many seemingly separate bodies upon the physical plane? And I say, yes, I think I am. The more you can see this truth, Keith, the more your tendency to judge anything will diminish because you will understand that everything is you. You see, when you cast judgment, not only do you bring about division from others, you deepen the conscious breach between yourself and the one cosmic universal body. When you judge, love begins to decay and fear begins to expand. Now, even though I describe separation as a truth in and of itself, in truth, it is not real. Nothing can ever leave my sight. That is the real truth. I live in such wholeness that I even hold together the things you may see as separate. Hello, Jody. Hello, Robert. Spirit continues. Here's an exercise for you. Hello, Adelia Velez. This exercise is going to help congeal, solidify, and anchor within you the universal body. There is nothing, absolutely no thing separate from the universal body. Spirit says, here's an exercise for you. Look at your hand. Do you see a hand with separate fingers? And I say yes. Spirit says, because of those empty spaces you see between them, you think that one finger has no connection to the others. This is but a perception of separation caused by your lack of focus on the entire hand, which after all is where your fingers extend from in the first place. Your hand represents the place where all things connect and originate, God. This simple lesson should lift your awareness beyond any deception. Do you understand it? Spirit continues. Now let us look at the connection you have with the earth and all life upon it. Again, I ask you to reflect on your body and see it as a living organism housing billions of cells, skin cells, liver cells, brain cells, blood cells, and so on. All of them encapsulated in one wrapping of flesh. This holds true for the earth as well, where there are billions of individual cells called people who differ from one another in personality, appearance, sex, and race. Humans are embraced by a much larger organism, Earth. Humans are to Earth as cells are to humans. From micro to macro, the universal design and body is the same. Atomic to cellular to body to world to solar to galactic to stellar to universal. All systems spin around one central source. Atoms and cells have elements spinning around one central source called the nucleus. And you and Earth spin around one central source called the sun. The solar system revolves around the Milky Way galaxy with that huge cluster of stars at its center. Galaxies rotate around the cosmos, and the universe revolves around God, the great central sun. I know you have heard the expression, Keith. He thinks the world revolves around him. Well, this is the actual truth of it. Everything revolves around me, for it is I who spins all into life. And I ask or say to Spirit, it sounds pretty simple. I mean, as far as you have things laid out. Yes, Keith, it is so simple that without forcing anything, the truth hunters, the truth brings about the natural flow of life and allows light that truth brings about the natural flow of life and light that allows the divine to be omnipresent. This is just the way it is. I do not judge it, for it is what it is. Continuing forth. I need some water. Keep in mind, this was written in 1996 to 1998. And I asked Spirit, do you think I will ever get there in this lifetime? And Spirit responds, that is entirely up to you, Keith. Know that even now, you have what it takes to grasp the complexity of the universe and to anchor the divine principle if you accept living in love as your abiding criterion. This is very, very important. Written all those years ago, John Lennon. Very important for today's time. I share with all of you this truth of your connectedness to bring you stability and to provide you with a deeper comprehension of the way things will play out in these transitional times. And I ask, you mean things will get better? And I ask, you mean things will get worse before they get better? I did not say that, Keith. You did. But I can tell you that your unity with God, the earth, and all people will only aid you when the wheels of spirit begin to roll. That sounds both promising and ominous. What dynamic is taking place now? Spirit. Earth's energy is beginning to shift dramatically, and it is lifting at an exponential rate. The pace of life is accelerating like never before. And in this age of computer technology, when new phenomena quickly become obsolete, most people, computer technology, this is also talking about you as your computer, the hardware, and that which you contain with inside of yourself, the software. When new phenomena quickly become obsolete, most people find it tough just to keep up. But it is very important for all of you to update yourselves and absorb as much information as possible. After all, who do you think is behind the idea that you call the information age? Information age. I am in a formation age. And I say, well, that goes without saying. And Spirit says, does it now? Well, it's obvious to me that you are. And then Spirit kicks me in my balls It says, so why is the world so reluctant to use it to its fullest capacity? And I say, ouch. Spirit continues, let me put it this way. When humanity finally does get around to taking in what I've been saying for eons, world peace will be yours. And I respond, so what should we call this time we're living in? The end, the beginning, the new age, the golden age, Revelation, Armageddon, the rapture, what? And Adelia laughs. I love it. What should we call this time we're living in? Spirit says, it does not matter to me what you call it. What does matter is for you to believe with all that you have that I am blanketing you and earth with love's vision so that humanity can see what has been created, how it is working, and what needs to be recycled for further expansion. You must know that the closer I get to you, the more the law of cause and effect will be in play. Said another way, as my light pierces the illusion of time and space, I have been saying time is depleting. As my light pierces the illusion of time and space, everything about you will be unmasked. Unmasked. Hello, 2020 lockdown. Unmasked. As my light pierces the illusion of time and space, everything about you will be unmasked to reveal your shadow self, your own illusion. And I ask the question, are you saying that cause and effect will not be separate and that our thoughts will suddenly begin to manifest? And Spirit says, right, kiddo. Hello, Elaine. As the world keeps moving down its timeline, reality will indeed begin to immediately manifest from thought, because God power is winding its way through every soul on the planet, making now the perfect time to manifest your own life's desires. But before we can truly work and play together, I must first mirror to each of you with all my love exactly who you are as a thinking, feeling, doing, being. And I ask in closing, so that's how the universe functions? Keith, yes, absolutely. The whole system of creation works in harmony, constantly learning and updating and ever expanding. I am ready to reveal to all of you the process we have made, the progress we have made. The whole kit and caboodle is being laid out right here, right now. So this 3-part series, God Hunters in Search of the Truth. Tonight is the universal body. Tomorrow night is going to be the universal mind. And Thursday night is going to be the universal fire. Three components can be considered the Trinity. Father, the mind, the universal mind. The Son, the universal body, the Christ in one. We are all of the Christ principle. We are the Christ principle. And the Holy Spirit, which is going to be Thursday night, the universal fire, that which carries out the will of the divine. I have spoken many times about omnipresence. This is no different, but it is. It's to create a greater moment in myself as well as anyone within these forums. So the picture is, God's not just omnipresent everywhere. He influences things because he's everywhere, and he has the power to influence. That's not what omnipresence is. You take God out of the equation, you disappear, my friend. In fact, you don't exist. In fact, you just go where God went. That's how it works. But God is present here on the earth, and it looks just like you since your birth. And you look in the mirror, and it can, but it shouldn't be any clearer than that. Yes, it's you. Yes, it's the chair you're sitting on. Yes, it's the taste in your mouth. Yes, it's everything and everything. It's so everything, you may not like too much what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway because you deserve to hear it. The bad people who do those things to you, God's kissing you on your face. In fact, He's going even a little more intimate. He's kissing you on your mouth. Everything is God. Keith, what about those bad people? How can it is? God uses everything as a pawn. It's all teaching. We're going to leave that to Thursday night, God's will. How people are moved by the finger of God. Is it possible? Is it possible that the only reason you are here today, the only reason the universe exists, is for and because of you? Is that a spiritual truth that you are due? Chew on that stick of dynamite. Take yourself out of the forest. The forest don't exist. Not only is God omnipresent in the form of the universal body and everybody, if you are a part of that wholeness, everything's a hologram. Imbued in every fragment of light is the whole. So you, as the fragment, are the whole. That's called being holy. I am wholly responsible for myself. When I understand that, it turns into being holy, reverent, auspicious. It gets real delicious, y'all. So not only is God omnipresent, the omnipresence is actually yours. That's what spiritual liberation is to tap into the spigot, the wellspring of our consciousness on other deeper dimensions, levels, infinite dimensions. God is infinite. Never claim you found God. Never claim you found the absolute truth. It bars you, holds you, pigeonholes you to greater degrees of infinity that you can always burn, turn, churn, and yearn for. Liberation is afoot, I tell you. There's a divine fire in everyone, and it wants to so consume all of us. But we have to want to burn away our nonsense to ever understand that not only am I a pure drop in the beautiful ocean, but to integrate the truth. I am the ocean. We can say, well, Keith, I know that I am the ocean. If you have a true experience every day, ongoingly, consistently, that you are in the ocean consciousness, please send me a message, call me on my phone, and share with me how you did it. Not out of doubt. I'm reaching out to reach in. So let me know what you did to hasten such deliciousness and nutritiousness. Hello, everyone. Let's look at some of these comments. Kelly Curtis in the house. Hello, Kelly. Kelly Bauman says, he does that one. He took me a bit. Thank you. Elaine says, love you, blessings. Tammy Collins says, I love my creation. Good for you, darling. Adalia Velez says, true, God is in me. Fantastic, everyone. And I would like to support that even further, Adalia. Not only is it in me, what a beautiful analogy just came into my heart. Let's call this ring. Ring is worn on this finger for unity in relationship, a sacrament, contract, a vow. Ring represents zero, wholeness, completion, infinity. Let's call this God. From the center point of God, outward is the expression of the universal body, universal mind, and the universal fire. This is God. Jesus said, I am in my Father. You ready for this? If you're a God hunter searching, God is this whole ring, the wholeness of everything. Jesus says, Jesus is this aspect of the ring. God, Jesus, I am in my Father. In this way, Jesus is in the Father, which is the wholeness of the ring. And I am in you. Now, I am in my Father's in me, and I am in you. So to look at this correctly, from the teachings of the Master himself, you can't shrug that off. You can't cherry pick this passage. I am in my Father's in me, and I am in you. I am in my Father's in me, and we are both the Father in me, in you. So this makes you the outer ring, the wholeness of everything. I am in my Father's in me, and I am in you. So this makes you this large, containing the whole packet and shebang of divine light. It's all in you. And that which lives in all of us creates worlds and universes. We just simply need to tap into it. Tonight is Center of Light. God Hunters, Search for the Truth. 3-part series. Tonight is the Universal Body. Now we're going to go into the next segment. This is from a presentation I did recently, but it's only a fragment of the deliciousness of this 3-part series, God Hunters. Though I did it recently, hear it as if it's brand new for you. Take it in. All that's been said tonight. So I love you too, Tammy. You're so lovely. Thank you for that beautiful blessing. I accept it, I allow it, and I appreciate it. Hear it again. Actually, hear it deeper. When I say the chair you're sitting on is God, when I say you're a God, I mean that. But it's deeper than that. It's greater than that. It's more delicious than that. It is you. It really is. It's you. It's the chair. It's everything that's ever happened to you, everything that can happen to you, everything that will happen to you. There is a current moving, always conscious it is, gets right down to the biz. And it's for us to do the same so we can really involve ourselves into the conscious game of recognizing the truth, which is, oh my God, God is me, except the folly and nonsense we carry around. But it's still you. It's just that we keep ourselves from the deliciousness and the glory and the grace because we can't see our own beautiful, pure face when we look in the mirror. And in this way, we need to look a little harder by pulling back to get a closer glimpse so it can become clearer. That's it. There is no other teaching. There are many different variables how to illuminate. There is no other teaching except to integrate what I am throwing on your plate for the next couple of nights. Let's move into this presentation I did I think last week, possibly a couple of weeks ago. We're going to be here for a while. Take this opportunity and scoot to the nature room, do your nature business. Let's see. I'll see you shortly. Your love beyond measure. In fact, it's the love beyond measure that is holding you together, allowing you to be here that we can both play the cosmic sandbox of forever. Never forget that. I'll see you shortly. You may understand this word. I'm sure you do. But it's not just a simple understanding. And it's not somewhat literal and somewhat figurative. That's not what it is. It's absolutely, without a doubt, completely literal. The word is, okay, Keith, come on. The word is omnipresence. Ah, yeah, I get it. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'm the presence. Yeah, right, I get it now. It goes greater than that. Omnipresence. What does it mean? Look it up on your own. Go to Webster's and look it up. Biblically, look it up. Scripturally, look it up. What it means, not only what it means, what does it mean to you? Einstein asked the question, Albert Einstein asked the question, do you live in a friendly universe or a hostile one? Simply choose. The word is omnipresence. And understanding that fully, you will no longer be lonely, anxious, depressed, afraid, this, that, and the other. But also, you will gain power, peace, abundance, clarity, and things of the like. Omnipresence. What does that mean? It means it's omnipresent. It's everywhere, literally everywhere. So how does it relate to releasing loneliness and all these negative qualities? Because you're no longer alone when you understand that the chair you're sitting on, this chair is God. This pendant is God. Your meat suit is God. This, that, and the other is God. All your presence here, your omnipresence here is God. So if omnipresence is God and you're here omnipresently with all of you, this is a God experience. When two or more are gathered in my name, I am present. It's all God's presence. The only thing God's presence is not involved in is nonsense and fear. Everything else is God. And even in the fear that we choose to take upon ourselves, God is in there somewhere, but it cannot simply be recognized because the mind that was once clear, or can be clear, is now shrouded and clouded with misunderstanding. There's nothing you have to do. It's never been hard. You are there. You are completely there. Where is there? It's here. What do you say in school when you were growing up? What did you say in school when you were growing up? John Doe, you said here, or you said present. I'm here. Question is, are you here? When you understand that the world outside and all the noise it makes with all its noisemakers, those things you crank for New Year's, trying to distract you into the folly. When you understand you are never alone, when we understand who walks beside us at every moment, we will never be afraid again. Kelly Curtis says, how to make you see what is going on in your life to push or pull you towards what you want. Well, Keith, if I'm in a dark night of the soul and I'm depressed, I don't feel this omnipresence you're speaking about. No, it's there. Reach into it and it will reach back, versus sitting there whining and complaining. And that's okay if that's your dynamic. Your beautiful human life is beautiful. No one's judging you or saying, this is how you have to do it, and this is the way you better do it or should do it. What is being offered is simply when you want out of the fight and into delight, you can simply choose. The chair you're sitting on, the toothbrush you used to brush your teeth, it's all an extension of the divine octopus we call God. God's arms are everywhere, reaching out. But we have to reach in to receive such grace. Omnipresence. It's everywhere. You're not only are you not alone, the whole universe has your back. You're being created by the Divine Mother's bosom. You're welcome, Ted. When we all integrate on levels that we are yet to become conscious of. But when we integrate and create that very consciousness within ourselves, you get it all. All of what? All of it. What is that? It's everything. What is the everything? It's you. You are everything. You are the all of it and the everything of it. There's nothing that has been created, is now, or will ever be created more important than you. I gave you a timeline. God doesn't live in a timeline. God is omnipresent. So since you were born, actually, you were never born. Don't let anyone ever fool you. You were never born. I get it in conversation. I was born in 1963, Keith Blanchard. I'm almost 58 years old. But in the truth of it all, in the omnipresence of it all, you were never born, nor will you ever die. You came onto the earth, and that way we call it birth, but you were never born. You always are. And every facet and fragment of what you are is here now. So there is no such thing as a past life. It isn't. It's just different expressions of who you were, or as your consciousness flip-flops in, around, and all about the universe to bring about your greatest spiritual growth, hopefully in the shortest amount of time, if that's what you're interested in. Some people love playing on the earth. I love the earth. I love earthly things. I love it. Robert calls it the bornless one. Do you understand? Tonight's word, the greatest question is, do you fully understand what omnipresence actually is? It means that if you choose, your game is over. There's no more worry. There's no more fear. There's no more trouble. There's no more stress. I can simply let go. And if I let go of what I think I need, it's tough. I get it. If I let go of what I think I need, I can have it all? Is that what you're saying, Keith? No, it's not what I am saying. I'm saying you are already all of it. Because omnipresence means it's everything, including the sound you're hearing from my mouth as you take it into your ears, the chair you're sitting on, the water that you drink. It's everything. And when we get the nonsense out of the way, the river of that very water that we've tapped into the wellspring of life begins to move through your being. And it creates a seeing. So it's not just a simple principle. God is omnipresent, present in all places at all times. It's a lifestyle. It's greater than a lifestyle. It's your life, or could be. So you will never be alone. Ever. Never have been. It's the illusion and the disillusion that we move into because of the mind. And if you don't mind, hello, Mary, I'm alone. Ted, you are welcome, sir. It is my blessing to know you. You look just like me. You do. You may be a little more handsomer, but you and I look alike. Hello, Lincoln. You and I look alike, Ted. We all look alike. We all look like the same light of our divine, omnipresent parent. Should be apparent to all of us that we are all cosmic siblings from the same source, and that the world outside is full of horseshit, trouble, and nonsense. But please do not lose sight that that trouble, horseshit, and nonsense actually, when seen in the form of God's omnipresence, becomes beauty, peace, and reflective grace and glory. See, I used those words before to create a story of contrast. And in contrast, you can choose whatever side of the fence you want. But what I truly suggest is that you don't choose what side of the fence you think you want. Exist directly in the middle of yourself, because it leaves all possibility for you. It looks something like this. I'm neither light or dark. I'm neither right or wrong. I am this. It all exists within me. So in closing, if you're trying to look for God, ironically, paradoxically, you will always be looking and searching. How can you accept the presence of the absolute if you cannot accept the presence of the finite? There is no other way. Try though you may, there is no other way. How can you ingest and integrate the presence, the omnipresence of God, when we simply don't accept, allow, and appreciate our own personal presence? The present life that we have been given. God is not something you search for. God is something you allow. As Lavender Soul says, let the love of God fall upon you. It's always been that way. It's time to celebrate who you are. You are perfect in every way. And in such celebratory ways of being, the universe celebrates your life because finally you are seeing the truth. What is the truth? Not only is God everywhere, if you allow yourself, there's no place you cannot be yourself. You can simply shift your spirit in liberation wherever it is you want to be. From said dismay, trouble, discord, anxiety, depression, knowing that God is around you all the time. Not only around you, it is you. It's everything that you are except your own unconsciousness. That's pretty liberating shit, isn't it? When we truly understand something and we shift, we move and dwell into another dimension. Congratulations. You have won the game. The question has been answered. The game is over. God bless you. Peace, love, and you are the light. Welcome back to Center of Light. Tonight we're speaking about the first part in a 3 installment series called God Hunters in Search for the Truth. Tonight is called The Universal Body. Like I said a little earlier, though we have been talking about omnipresence for a while, this repetition does help. But not only does it help, I'm fashioning these 3 installments to bring a deeper comprehension and an integration into this week's presentation. I have a big show. We're going to be here. I'm going to be here for a while. Why? I have nothing else to do except play in the garden. The cosmic sandbox with you sexy human creatures. I'm going to keep moving. Maybe a little later I'll play Perfect in Every Way by Lavender Soul, my spiritual band. Hello, Melinda, Melanie, Tanya, everyone. Good to see you. I hope Dahlia's still here. Kelly Curtis, everyone, it's good to see you. You are my blessing. So I have a presentation by Shunya Murdy. This may seem off point to the presentation, but it's not. He's not going to be speaking about God's omnipresence. directly. He's going to be speaking about where we are in God's game, the game of life, directly. And that is, in and of itself, omnipresent deliciousness. Listen closely. And then I'm going to come back, do a little bit of chat, kind of summarize some things that I get from Shunyamurti. We're going to be here at least for another 30, 35, 40 minutes. So take this time to get something to eat if you're in it as a God hunter. And then I'm going to share a video with you of what omnipresence in the form of a human being looks like. And you're going to hear a discourse and an interview by him. I can tell you who it is, but I don't want to do that just now. I can tell you it's not Swamiji. But when I do play that, I really want you to listen. Not just to hear words. It's going to sound like words. But you're going to hear the power of the delivery of such things. So, Shunyamurti. Bruh. Tonight is Center of Light. I am. I am that I am. I am God. I am everywhere. There's no place I do not dwell except fear and unconsciousness. That's our job. To dig our way in to the truth. Shunyamurti is going to lay it out about what's happening right now. This is called, I think it's called Prepare Yourself. Prepare yourself, a new world is coming. Shunyamurti.
We are gathered here on a very holy day, a sacred day. A day made sacred originally by the Mayan people who were able to foresee much of the future of the end of this world age, the beginning of the next. But it's not only the Mayans, but all the peoples of the world, in the ancient world in particular, whose calendars have prophesied that we would come to this period. In India, it's the end of Kali Yuga and the beginning of the next Satyuga. And in that sense, it is the most auspicious time in the calendar of the ages, recognized as such in Christianity as the time of the apocalypse. And apocalypse, as you know, means unconcealment, the time of the revelation of the truth of God and the presence of God, mythologized as the return, the second coming of Christ, mythologized by the Islamic people as the coming of the 12th Imam by the Shiites, and the coming of the time of Allah, and by every other people, understood as the end of the age. The Buddhists know it as the time of the coming of Maitreya, the final Buddha of the age. And so we are celebrating a universal moment. And the actual day of the calendar is not relevant except as a symbolic pointer to a period of time, a purgatorial period, in which transformation is urgent, imperative, in order to help usher in this new age successfully. It is our graduation. It is our souls that are on trial. It is our purification that is at stake, our destiny, the destiny of our planet, but the destiny, more importantly, of our own souls in relation to God. So we should take this day with utmost seriousness. Not so much as some countdown to some final destruction, but as a moment in which we can ascend, in which the energy field is open for the realization of our true nature, in which there is an alignment of all the levels of reality to bring about the most auspicious result of the transformation of our exhausted world into a renewed world, from a world of war and conflict and poverty and aggression and disease and pathology, suicide, and all of the other negativities we all know so well, to an age of peace and prosperity and harmony and love, of true God consciousness, an age in which the divine potential of our being is realized. All that had been forgotten and repressed in our hearts now wants to come to the surface again, to free us from the bondage of the ego. And this is a day in which we can devote ourselves to making that a reality, not just a dream, not a hope, not wishful thinking, but to make it real through our own inner process that will not tolerate any inner resistance to our achievement of our own liberation. And we can approach this day, and we should approach it on 3 different levels. It has significance at the ego level. It has different significance at the soul level, and a 3rd level of significance for the Atman, for the spirit, for God consciousness. At the ego level, people tend to make 4 different errors in relationship to this time period. One are those who are completely cynical and say there's no end coming, it's business as usual, this is the way it is, there have always been wars, there have always been troubles, but we muddle through, don't worry about it, it's not going to affect us in the long run, it's hype, and just keep on with your tunnel vision and stay in denial. But those who are taking that approach are finding that their denial is cracking by virtue of the radical nature of the changes that are happening that can no longer be denied. From climate change to genocidal warfare that's spreading across the globe, to diseases that we have no drugs to treat, to a lack of water and food supply, of drought and weather conditions that are unprecedented, etc., etc., etc. And this leads to the second error of those who see only the end, who see only the death of a world, the collapse of the global financial situation, oncoming wars, and unredeemable, sinful humanity without hope, and who are living in despair and devastation because of that error in judgment. And we must not fall into that trap of nihilism. This is not the end of the world. This is the opportunity for bringing a new world into existence. But it's an opportunity that depends on us. And so the 3rd error that is made is by those who believe there doesn't have to be an end to the world. The new world can come without disaster, without apocalypse, without end. Let's just pretend it's already begun and celebrate it and ignore the disasters that are occurring all around us. Not to mention our own egoic suffering that we can avoid for only so long. And so no, there is an end. The new world is not yet here, except in the hearts of those for whom that has become real. And we can become those if we truly transform. But if not, we will have to face the karma of our trying to airbrush reality and pretend that we don't have to do the purification of our souls, and that we can get away with chanting and hand-holding and praying and rituals and gatherings in which we all talk our bravado of, isn't it all wonderful? But no, we have to be more truthful than that and face both sides of this moment, the darkness as well as the light. And then the fourth error is made by those who see all the three others, but they think that the end will be coming through some miraculous intervention from outside of ourselves. Whether it's an army of angels who will save us from ourselves, or it's an army of extraterrestrial saviors, or it's some other permutation of a religious belief. But no, it won't happen from outside. Doesn't mean there aren't angels, but we have to become those angels. Doesn't mean there aren't extraterrestrials, but it doesn't mean they'll save us either. We have to merit any help we get from within or from without. It is we who have lost touch with our goodness, our love, our God consciousness, and we who must reclaim it through our own surrender to God within, through our own renunciation of the lower chakra jouissance of the ego, and of playing the game of dishonesty with ourselves and pretense that things are better than they are, and the mañana game of waiting for something to happen without my having to do it. But waiting for Godot is hopeless. And the time for waiting, the margin for error, is now at an end. And that is what this day signifies. It's not that this is the last day in time, but it is the last significant moment for us to make the commitment to our own transformation and to creating a new kind of community, a new kind of relationship with one another, not based on greed, not based on arrogance, not based on the hunger of the ego, not based on the foolhardiness of the ego's mind that sees only its own self-interest and not that of the whole. It's that must be renounced. It's the surrender to the realization that the welfare of one is the welfare of all. And that who we are is not limited to the body, it's not limited to this lifetime, it's not limited to any egoic nature, it's not limited to one ethnic group, one religious belief. It's not limited in any way, and any limitation of our love and of our identification is a denial of love to those who are left out of our concern. And that is the great sin. And so unless we reach a state of ultimate non-duality in which our love is universal, in which our realization is that we are all one with all beings of the cosmos, and that we are one with the source and creative power and intelligence and love that brought this cosmos into being, without that surrender, the Renaissance, the new world cannot be born. And we must each take full responsibility for that birth. And so the death of the old world is the death of the ego, nothing less and nothing more. But the death of the ego must come as a voluntary renunciation of partial love and partial truth for the complete truth and the complete love of the Supreme Being. that ultimately we are. And to see that beauty of beingness in everyone, without yielding to any deviation of turning beauty that is divine into desire for something physical, for possession of some form, or for anxiety and fear and the attempt to protect some form, but into the surrender to the formless, the eternal, the supreme power that needs no protection. And unless we come under that protection by realizing our oneness with that, we cannot pass through this time of trials and tribulations in which any other power will collapse. Every other power is disintegrating. Whether it's the power of money or even the ground under our feet, all of that is changing. The earth is changing. Life is changing. In order for us to realize that we are dependent on only one power, that one that we have forgotten.
Welcome back to Center of Light. Tonight we were speaking about omnipresence, the universal body, God hunters, the search for the truth. I think, at least I am, starting to integrate a greater capacity of my own teaching, my own reason for being here, my own joy hanging out with you. Shanya Murdy laid out the times we're living in, and it's now time to connect back to the truth as children of innocence playing in the cosmic sandbox in the garden. This is it. This is the grand entrance of the great play of the stage of Earth. As I did mention just a little bit ago, and I think maybe when I come back after the bottom side of the video I'm going to play now, I may go into vessel mode. I'm not sure yet. Something is kind of prompting me. But what you're going to see now in this video is of a divine master. In a way of describing this, none is better than the other because God is omnipresent. So nothing is better than anything. The playing field is even all the way around. But as a metaphor to describe, this is the highest incarnation of God to ever walk the earth. One of them, at least, shines his light down on the earth and exists in this body. It's important for this 3-installment presentation series that you don't hear only, but that you listen. The words you're going to hear from this divine avatar, it's going to sound like normal talk. It will affect you on levels that you are unconscious of completely. Seeds will be planted. An avatar, God on earth, has a voice, a sound. You can bet those vibrations auditorily, is that a word? I just made a word, auditorily, will affect you on levels that will begin to awaken all of us. Listen. He's no longer here. This has been many years ago. But he is going to share his omnipresentness, which is actually yours. Sharing it on levels we may not understand to ourselves. Enjoy. I will see you shortly.
The ಶಿವ ಶಿವ ಶಿವಯನ ರಾಧ ಜೀವ ಚಿಂತನೆಲ್ಲ ಬಾಪಿ ಕೋನ ಮನ ರಾಧ
ಶಿವ 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 ಶಿವಯನ ರಾಧ ಶಿವ ಚಿಂತನೆಲ್ಲ ಬಾಪಿ ಕೋನ ಮನ ರಾಧ.
Everything is nothing, and nothing is everything, says Sai. This is a teaching that leads us from considering self as a separate thing to considering self as everything. Commenting more on the subject, when Swami asked what I wanted, I said, "You, Swami." He said with a smile, "Take me, I'm yours, but I'm not the body, the senses, the mind, the intellect, bliss. Then who am I? Take me, I'm yours." The Guru is one who takes us beyond name, form, and attribute to the supreme goal of self-realization, Atmic reality, transforming from the finite to the infinite.
Shiva 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 Shivayana Radha Shiva Chintala Bapi Kona Mana Radha.
Swami never told us to follow a Madhu form that divides us, enticing us by building new hospitals in this world of 7.6 billion. More importantly, to build unity in the Sai organization and in the world. Remember that unity leads to purity, and then divinity. Unity is supreme. It is time to come home to Him, to unity, not limited Madhu who splits our organization, tarnishing the holy and special name and form of Sai. A special form because it awakens us from the dream to our own attributeless reality that is infinite, timeless, deathless.
పాటలు పాడిన ఫలమేమి మంచి మాటలు నేర్చిన మహిమేమి పూటిగా.
In a letter to his students, Swami wrote, "My dear children, awake, awake, awake. There is no time for slumber. You have been asleep and dreaming for thousands of lifetimes. If you do not awaken now, this chance may not come again for thousands more. Come with me. Separation is no longer the order of the day. I separated myself from myself so that I could love myself more. The experience is finished. I want all of myself to return and merge into me, the only one." A comment for clarity. Sai is saying here that the experience of separation is finished, and Sai wants all separate names and forms to merge back into the one. Swami is offering the supreme gift of self-realization, but with a price to pay. We must pay a price to reach this high destination. We must give up attraction, attachment to lesser temptations. In Swami's own words, board the train of spiritual discipline now, and you will reach the terminus, which is jnana, absolute knowledge of you and of all this. In a train journey, you do not get down in the middle when some station attracts you. So too, in the spiritual journey, the stations are karma, action, upasana, contemplation, and so on. You have to pass through them. But remember, they are not the terminus. The terminus is realization. Discourse, 3 February 1964.
సంగములో నిలువగా సాధ్యము కాదా చరణముల నీకు సాధ్యము కాదా చరణముల.
Madhu followers twist Sai wisdom. Love all, serve all, help ever, hurt never. See Atma in all is God. Twisting this to justify seeing Madhu as Swami. But this teaching doesn't mean to accept sacrilege. It means loving and upholding Dharma. It means that countering Madhu a Dharma is love. A possible application in Sai centers disrupted by Madhu influence, considered only after unified approval by Sai leadership, is the loving rule that Madhu followers cannot be in a leadership position, not even lead a bhajan, a service project, a study circle. Showing non-acceptance and countering of Madhu influence in our centers, and when done in a caring manner, considering particular circumstances of the center and members, and with permission of Sai leadership. This rule unifies thoughts, words, and deeds, not giving recognition or prominence to the Madhu influence, strongly showing our non-acceptance of Madhu as Swami. Swami has said that all minds are tainted now. He is leading us to a purified wisdom, in which ego is destroyed on the way to Atmic reality. On the way, we must protect Dharma, that is true love. And like the Gita teaches, knowing that Krishna Sai is the doer, offer all acts to him. In this way, we prepare ourselves for the arrival of Prema Sai, for the Satya Yuga, and for our own self-realization. The split is actually Swami's grace calling us to a higher wisdom, Atmic reality. The 14th message that Swami gave me in a miraculous way, and that he encouraged me to share with you, describes the kind of wisdom needed to overcome the current split in our Sai organization. Believer, I am the Buddha. Teacher is the divine wisdom. In this discipline, the teacher, divine wisdom, is the absolute truth. As I understand, absolute truth in Mahayana Buddhism is emptiness, non-attachment, similar to the Advaitic path to non-attachment, the Advaitic practice of neti, neti, neti. Not this, not this, not this. This path entails not holding to bodies and feelings, names and forms, being empty of attachments, being free. Here Swami tells us that all names and forms that we attribute to God are illusory, that the limitless, attributeless, divine consciousness is our own Atmic reality, our own self.
గుణములే లేవు అతనికి. ఎట్టి గుణములు లేనటువంటి యొక్క భగవంతునికి గుణములు రూపములు మనం ఏర్పరచుకొని మనకు మనం తృప్తిపరుచున్నాము. రూపములన్నీ కూడాను అప్పటికైనాను అనిత్యమే. నిత్య సత్యమైనటువంటి యొక్క రూపము ఆత్మనే. కానీ దీనికి అనేక రూపములు కల్పించి మీరే దాన్ని అనర్థములు చేసుకుంటున్నారు.
To repeat for emphasis, Swami is saying that all names and forms are impermanent and temporary. It is only our own Atmic reality that is eternal and real. It is our own conscience, intellect, that guides us to our eternal self beyond birth and death. We must learn to let go of names and forms, not to hold on. Gautama Buddha taught the same, to rely on our own inner experience, our own intellect, our own common sense for our path to ultimate salvation.
ಶಿವ 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 ಶಿವಯನ ರಾಧ ಜೀವ ಚಿಂತಲೆಲ್ಲ ಬಾಪಿ ಕೋನ ಮನ ರಾಧ
ಶಿವ 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 ಶಿವಯನ ರಾಧಾ ಶಿವ ಚಿಂತಲ ಬಾಪಿ ಕೋನ ಮನ ರಾಧಾ.
So many people have asked Sathya Sai Baba, if you are God, why are you in a wheelchair? Phenomenal question. And his answer was infinitely phenomenal. How would that seem if I heal myself and I don't heal you? The reason for him being in a wheelchair is because of his hip. When he was alive, he passed on Easter morning, go figure, 2011. But the reason he was in a wheelchair is because he took on the brunt of the karma of the world. That's why he doesn't heal himself. As Christ to be crucified, I have to take on the karma of the world so it moves through my pure heart so I can transmute it. As Sathya Sai Baba said, all names get burnt in the fire of infinity. But when I started this presentation, my first transmission with Spirit in 1996 says just the opposite, but it's exactly the same. It's either all of them or none of them. So said differently, Spirit says, I am God, I have no particular name. Sai Baba says, I have no particular name. But if you need a name, I'll give you one. They all belong to me. I am all things, all that is. I am the universal generator of supreme knowledge and divine energy. I am you. I am everything you can perceive and everything you cannot. I am the choreographer of the human dance. I am the conductor of the Cosmic Symphony. I am the universal body and playwright. Tonight is called the universal body. I am the Almighty, the Most High, the Creator. I am love. So the idea is that it goes beyond all, not only all these names, but all names that can ever be uttered. That's the universal body. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word is God. And that very word, mark my word, is the chair that holds up your derriere. Tonight has been the universal body, God Hunters, the search for the truth. There is no searching for God. It's just a title. Don't search for God. Let the love of God fall upon you. It's always been that way. It's time to celebrate who you are. You are perfect in every way. Tomorrow night is going to be Center of Light, the universal mind. Tonight was the universal body. Tomorrow is going to be the universal mind. And Thursday is going to be the universal fire. Basically, God's will. 3 installment series, God Hunters. Are you searching? Searching is good. Search. But don't overshoot your target by searching too much. Don't try to clutch what you think it is that you're searching for. You will overshoot your target. And you will end up at the spiritual Walmart versus Target. But it's good to see you. Be yourself fully, regardless if anyone has anything to say about it. In fact, those people who say something about being yourself is God's grace to say, I'm just checking you. How you doing today? There's nothing that has ever been, is now, or can ever be greater than you. You, me, and the we of it all are the universal body. A cell of awareness, imperfect and incomplete. Genetic ends with uncertain ends, or in a fortune hunt that is far too fleet. The band Rush. You are it. There is nothing else. If you reach outside of yourself for a good time, fantastic. Here's $20 for gas. Go have a blast. Beyond that, reality will kick in your ass. Go. Spread the light. Spread the truth. Live it. Be the living testimony. That living word. I am the Word. The Word was with God and the Word was God. Be that Word. Word up. I don't feel the vessel mode, but I've been vesseling all night. So in this modality, know that I love you. Be honest with yourself. Live it. Give it. That's the only reason you're here. Just give it away. Give it away, give it away, give it away now.